Welcome to the experience. You don't really need the introduction on this one, do you? I mean, by now you should know what it is. But anyways, what I want you to do right now, I want you to think about this for a second. As I'm going to convey this message to you, just breaking down the difference between, exerting manliness, versus, exuding heartfelt masculinity. Being that, manliness on one hand is more subjective and, whatever, culturally is, approved of, right? Or described. Can't say defined. Now, for the sake of providing the most insight into what I'm saying about this particular topic, I want you to focus more so on the underlying premise of what masculinity is in the universal sense, from the heartfelt aspect, right? From its presence, down to its state of consciousness, leading us all the way to its commitment to purpose. And that's usually living at the edge of death for the protection of its divine principle in service to its life while balancing out the desires of the ego. To thy own self be true. It's important to know thyself. Know yourself, know your worth, right? See, the lesser forms of mankind can be traced within the uncivilized territory of that ego, or that aspect of you that goes unchecked, or misappropriated, mismanaged, so forth. But anyways, the sensible man, knows and should understand that, there's a dominant need for a cultural shift in regards to, knowing what to protect and knowing what to preserve, and, identifying the vulnerable, within ourselves as well as, the opposite sex, the feminine core of women and females alike. Now, when you really look at it in this day and age, they have been deeply violated and damaged. This is why it's imperative, for us both to eventually, evolve and grow, into something that pushes, in a level of consciousness, or I would say, an acute awareness about the imbalance, in order to regenerate the healing into something made whole and complete. Now, as of now, what we also see within our society is females, acting out in defense to protect themselves. So, they act out in a way of shutting down their vulnerable state, shutting down their true emotions by acting like wayward males. The impersonation, right? Masculine frame versus masculine frame. So which one to the win? The one that's usurping their position versus the other one that's misinterpreting their position. And the one that's misinterpreting their position is because, they allowed what's inside of them to remain dormant, you know, failing to realize what's in them, you know, is made to transform the deep feminine within her to evolutionize, you know, her being, you know, from her fallen state. Especially when we live in a time where, you know, personal identification is so fragile that many women turn to the wrong things to validate them. They seek out things, you know, they seek out the wrong people, go to the wrong places, you know, just to figure out who they think or who they feel they might be. You know, when you strive to find the right you, you hope to discover the real person that you are within the inside. I remember we're talking about going back to one misinterpreting their position, the other one usurping their position. See, because by both of these misplacements that are set in place, what does it lead to? Just two people, you know, misusing each other to hopefully, you know, further increase their understanding of themselves and the world around them. But, you know, can't see it with, you know, 20/20 vision. You know, everything is according to the pigment of your lens. How you were affected by the hits in life, you know, just injury, you know, further than narcissistic injury. You know, our society, you know, produces that, you know, all of us are suffering of that, you know, misplaced selfishness, you know, misplaced characters, just characters without a character, you know, on a stage that's poorly scripted. Makes any sense to you? I hope it does.